These bullies disrespected Terence Crawford like nobody else.
I don't see nothing special in Crawford. I don't know why everyone's scared of him. He's in it. Everyone's sleeping, and soon they'll wake up because I'm going to beat his ass come Saturday.
You got a pit bull in here with you, man. A guy, when they latch on to you, he not letting go. He ain't for nobody like me, man. And you best believe they nervous. Team Crawford is nervous.
Yeah, I'm going to bring to him a big surprise.
And that is?
You will see.
So what Bud ended up doing to them
Lundy trying to fire back. That's it. Round 5, stop it.
was brutal.
Oh. Is he the finisher they all expect him to be? He is. What a huge right hand, and he has done it.
He's fighting as a orthodox fighter, and here he is. He drops him into the ropes, and that's it. Cody Weeks stops the fight.
Get ready for violence, because This Is Fighting is art. Hype up this video to support the channel. Now let's go. Bud's newly won WBO welterweight gold was on the line when he took to the ring in October of 2018. Jose Benavidez Jr. seemed determined to make an impact as soon as he got face-to-face with Crawford. Raising the stakes against a fighter like Crawford isn't as good an idea as it sounds, though. Little did he know that he had bitten off way more than he could chew, and he would be made to pay for his mistake before long.
But note the CompuBox line that you see as Bud lands 48% of his power punches. The typical top welterweight lands 37%. That old phrase that if you're going to talk the talk, you better walk the walk. It was meant for this guy right here. It is time to do what you said you're going to do. Defend your turf.
Gentlemen, we went over the dressing room. We went over the rules in the dressing room. Keep it clean, set yourself up firm. Let's do this.
Celestino Ruiz wants them to touch him up. And they do. Joe Tessitore alongside two-division world champion Timothy Bradley and Mark Kriegel ringside. All the talk is done. It's time to fight. Benavidez, Crawford, WBO welterweight championship of the world.
As usual, round 1 was all about making reads for the betting favorite, Bud Crawford.
See both guys right now trying to figure the range out, the speed, the distance.
He wants Crawford to come forward and attack.
Crawford giving him a smile and a little nod of the head when he went with that jab to the body. Tim, you like the early work with that jab of Benavidez.
He's going to have to out-jab Terence Crawford. The jab is what sets up everything for Terence Crawford.
And then Crawford sitting on top with that now southpaw right jab as he comes in with a straight left to the body that scores here.
Crawford got to be careful in lunging. He lunged with that straight left. Benavidez is a good counterpuncher.
Bud shakes that off. We're going to take just one short break here and then back to Crawford and Benavidez. Stick around.
It was clear that Benavidez was not intimidated in these early exchanges, although he would soon learn.
There he is.
And there he goes to the body. It was a left hand to the body from Crawford. Benavidez shakes it off. He says, isn't anything.
Crawford has extreme concentration. He can concentrate for 36 minutes and figure it out in there.
Good exchange.
Body work was the name of the game for Crawford in the third, as he put damage on Benavidez's midsection that would stand to him the longer the fight went.
Terence Crawford right now trying to get his jab working and trying to pick up the pace on Benavidez.
Jab going from there. There's another body shot that got around the left arm of Benavidez.
Tim, can Crawford also come off the jab and shoot a straight left hand?
He definitely can, but he has to be careful because Benavidez, like I said, is a great counterpuncher. He has a good right hand.
Doubles up the right hand that time, does Crawford. There he works his way to the inside and included yet another body punch.
And here it is again. When you put that peekaboo defense up with those hands up.
The right knee is the knee that was shot. A bullet went through the femoral artery. It fractured the bone.
From Bud Crawford, who has had so much success going to the body in this round, taking control here.
But even after feeling Bud's power to his body, Benavidez was not losing composure just yet.
A.K.A. Bomac, who's with Bernardo.
Bomac, it seems that Terence is getting his rhythm here. What did you tell him? What do you want for round 4?
I told him to keep his hands up and go behind that double jab because Benavidez will catch the first jab, but he won't catch the second jab. After you throw the second jab, he'll try to cover up. You can get closer to him. So after you get closer to him, then you start going to the body, come back up to the head.
You said watch out for that right hand. Tried to go to the body there, but went up top. Now he comes sweeping across that belt line and came up short.
And he's looking to just create things, different angles by switching southpaw.
I got news for you, fellas.
Coming into the middle rounds, this was a closely contested fight, and Benavidez was clearly no chump.
The crowd, whatever you guys say, but I think he's doing really beautiful. He's going to the body. He's catching him with those straight right hands. Look at that. How can you tell me that? Look.
Sure did. And not running makes a good night for you, the viewer, and these fans here. And by the way, in terms of the way the crowd reacts, they very much knew what they were getting themselves into, so much so to the point that Jose Jr. said, hey, this fight's not going the distance. I can't let that happen here in his hometown.
A little politicking by Jose Sr. there.
And use a little bit more angles and confuse Benavidez.
Perhaps a better test than many imagined for the great Bud Crawford. A guy who sits #1 atop so many pound-for-pound fighter in the world list. The guy who was #1 pound-for-pound retired.
Bud was still looking for body shots as the bout wore on, but he was slowly diversifying his target more and more.
That jab occasionally, but he'll wait on you and he'll fire some combinations back at you. Great counterpuncher. And he has good speed.
But his sense of himself as a fighter was based on those sparring sessions. He's never been in with anyone like that, except for when he was a kid.
Interesting moment right there as Bud came in and then the right hand came in at a downward angle. Good exchange right in the center of the ring.
And there's a difficulty basing your sense of yourself on sparring, also something that happened almost a decade ago.
Right now, Benavidez is having some success.
He is with that right hand, Tim.
Straight right hand, and also, like the champ said, he's catching Crawford on the way out. Crawford had a tendency of doing so, getting off and coming right back.
3-punch combination moments ago by Crawford that spiked this crowd here. You saw him double up that left hand. Now he gets right into the kitchen of Benavidez. And he let him go again. 3-punch combination and another right hand to the body from Bud Crawford.
In round 7, you could see that body work taking its toll on Benavidez. He was starting to fade.
Crawford right now controlling the outside. That's why he's able to land these shots. Looks like the movement of Crawford has Benavidez standing still.
I think that Crawford's fighting a little up, but in terms of stamina, it looks like Benavidez has less.
Well, at this point, all the body shots that Terence Crawford has landed is definitely doing this, making the toll, and doing his toll, and doing what it's supposed to do.
Bernardo has been monitoring both corners. What can you tell us, Bernie?
Well, Benavidez is doing exactly what his father doesn't want him to do. He wanted him to use a jab in this round, to not step straight back, to be more active. And Bomac called it the round before. He said, I see Benavidez breathing hard, and I think Bud is in a great place.
He came in, and Bud came at him. From Bud Crawford, Tim.
There it is. Crawford right here, making a miss, making a pay short. Left hand right there. Now Benavidez is willing to cover up right in front of Terence Crawford. That's a huge mistake.
He's tired.
He is tired.
By round 8, Benavidez's volume had drastically dropped, and Crawford could sense that he was in control.
I'll tell you what I do see from the facial expressions between rounds. I don't see the same brio, the same confidence, the same type of willingness to attack from Benavidez that I did earlier in the fight.
Covering up like that doesn't work out so well. You know who else notices it? The guy opposite him. Crawford, 3-punch exchange, including a left hand that splits the guard of Benavidez.
And of course,
Crawford comes in, left hand, right to the body. Good exchange to close out the 8th.
The longer this went on, the worse it was getting. No output, minimal accuracy, and he was clearly just banking on a puncher's chance.
Trey Ward with an even 6th round, but still Crawford up 78-74. Many ringside have it 5 rounds to 3. Crawford.
Look at the beautiful work by Crawford, changing levels, going downstairs to be able to land some combinations up top like that. Right hook right there. Look at the feet. How he just got out of range right there. Angles out right there. Terence Crawford.
he made a point before. That jab looks good when he throws it.
The question now was whether Bud could actually get him out of there before the judges' scorecards.
$10,000 cap at midnight in Phoenix. Someone targeted him, and he knows it.
Benavidez attack. He's standing right in front of Terence Crawford right now, not really using his jab. I want to see Terence Crawford turn it up a little bit more on Benavidez. He's there to be hit. Nice stinging body shot right there from Crawford.
Put that left hand right to the body. He wants to try to draw him in again. Wasn't successful earlier in doing so. Let's see what Benavidez comes up with here. And Crawford looks to unload. Pushes him back. A right hand came with it from Benavidez.
This is exactly what Crawford needs to do. He needs to stay close, work the body, block and counter.
Benavidez with an offensive output. Crawford comes right back. Short left hook from Benavidez. Benavidez a little more willing here in round number 10. And Crawford always that way.
At this point, Benavidez was merely hanging on, unable to sustain any form of real offense.
To try to find the answer. Look at the power punches now. Crawford comes into this round having landed 100 of 238 thrown. And that percentage now moves north to 42%.
You talked before about Crawford basically torturing guys who've antagonized him.
Maybe looking at a go-for-broke 12th round from the undefeated challenger as Crawford brings it a little bit.
There it is again.
Sent off balance.
Check hook.
Crawford came into round 12 looking to bring it all home with a big, decisive moment.
Scorecards. Crawford is easily in control, and he's got 2.5 minutes.
He's got to sell out right now.
Got to risk everything, right, Tim?
Got to go for it. And he is. He's trying. He's trying to stop Terence and put combinations together to the head and body.
But where is that body shot we saw in the 4th round? Sitting on the ropes and shaking his head is not how he wants to end this fight, however.
Oh! Crawford gets him! My, oh my! What a shot! Half a minute.
I believe Terence lands an uppercut, a right uppercut, a punch he never threw.
Let's see how he goes about it. Best in the world. At home. Is he the finisher they all expect him to be? He is. What a huge right hand, and he has done it.
The whole fight, short uppercut. Then he follows up and finishes him with a right hook. Benavidez.
Declaring the winner by way of technical knockout, still the undefeated WBO welterweight champion of the world, repping Omaha, Nebraska, Terence Crawford.
This is the celebration of a man who knows he just made a huge statement. This is one of the best fighters in the world, folks.
Terence Crawford.
Hank Lundy was another man who made the mistake of crossing Crawford. If Lundy's wish was to make it personal, he certainly managed to do so. Bud wasn't even trying to hide his excitement for this one.
It's going to work. Step it up.
And a good, rugged, old-school contender. Can the good old-school contender?
Switching stances to confuse Lundy appeared to be front and center in Bud's game plan early on.
Both fighters start out in the conventional stance. Both have been known to switch to southpaw. With Lundy, it's just that he switches to southpaw. With Crawford, it's that he becomes an even more dynamic. He told us yesterday that he would switch southpaw as soon as Crawford did, but he hasn't done it yet, and he gets in a left hook. Does Hank Lundy.
It was a two-piece, Jim.
Opponents have been able to hit Crawford, and that was a hard left hook by Lundy. So Lundy gets in the first couple of hard punches. Delorme won the early rounds against Crawford. Gamboa won the early rounds against Crawford. And right now, Lundy is winning the first round against Crawford.
Lundy describes himself as an open class fighter. In the amateurs, you're a novice till you have a certain number of fights, then you're open class.
Good counterpunch by Crawford there. Lundy missed. Crawford caught him on the chin. Still in the southpaw stance is Terence Crawford. It's just the nature of his face. It's not that he's trying to be unusually dramatic. He understands that the role of the referee is not to be the star of the show, but sometimes you can't take your eyes off of it.
Lundy's had a good success here and there against Crawford. He's got to put something on him that wears him down as the fight progresses.
So you got to prove to Crawford that you can hurt him, because if you don't, he's going to stay right here in your face, and he's going to keep the pressure on until he forces you into a mistake. Then when he hits you with something hard, it's going to hurt.
Another good combination for Lundy after Crawford had caught him with a couple of shots.
By the time the second round came, Crawford was already starting to gauge Lundy's timing.
Lundy were the most effective punches in the round. And I'm not the scorer here, of course. Our unofficial scorer is Harold Letterman. We'll show you his card after the third round. You may have noticed there that Crawford has two trainers, Brian McIntyre and Esau Dieguez.
For a guy as skillful as Crawford, he likes to fight. And Lundy, it seems, wants to bring that out in him early in the fight to give himself better chances.
Well, that's the best chance for Lundy, to make it an ugly fight, make it a swapping fight, so that he can get a chance to land something big. And the more the fight goes, the better it is for Terence.
He made some of his fans nervous, clearly losing the early rounds to Delorme. Eventually, it became clear he was bringing Delorme in. He was reeling them in like a fish, giving him opportunities to land so that Delorme would in fact come forward with some...
Yeah, but Delorme is a skillful athlete who happens to box. Lundy is a fighter. Yeah. And there's a difference.
Yeah, you can look at him now and tell he's a much smaller guy. He's not really the bigger guy here. He probably should still be campaigning at 135, but he's the type of guy that if nobody else will fight Crawford, he'll take it.
He already shook his head no, which means, of course, yes. He got caught with a good shot. Lundy did. He says he has a trap set for Crawford when Crawford positions.
But we haven't seen anything else since then.
That's right.
Lundy was game and ready to fight, but he didn't have the fight IQ, the speed, or the technical savvy to be anywhere near Crawford's level here.
Range, he'll know when he can attack like that with a straight left hand. But when you put it at his forehead, use that to gauge how far away he is or how much more ground you have to cover when you do go to attack with a big punch.
Holmes did the same thing. That's exactly right.
Not a heavy jab.
No, it's not a heavy jab at all. It's a rangefinder to keep me busy and to let me know how far away or how much more of a makeup I have to do to get to you.
That was a pretty heavy jab by Lundy.
Yeah, it was.
The quintessential heavy jab would be what we donating his fist down into Lemieux's mouth over and over with the jab.
Because he wasn't concerned about Lemieux countering the jab at all. These two guys are more experienced. You fight a guy from Philadelphia, you know he knows how to counter a jab if you come in there jabbing like an idiot.
See, a fight like this, they're both boxers. I mean, Lundy thinks of himself as a boxer, and Crawford's obviously a boxer.
But nevertheless, they don't like each other. You can feel it, and the fight is likely to break out again.
And I saw Terence just get really close with the straight left hand. He used the jab a couple times to get close. Then he tried it, but Hank was smart enough to avoid the left hand.
That was such a smart move by Lundy, getting inside his deep amateur background. He's just a real...
Momentum continued to build for Bud as the crowd started to sense that this fight might not go on for too much longer.
With the right hand, since putting that stick in front after he switched to the southpaw stance. Harold, how do you have the fight through the first 3 rounds?
Okay, Jim, I got it 2 rounds to 1, 29-28, Terence Crawford. I mean, he's doing a nice job keeping good distance, landing that right jab constantly. Anyway, 2 rounds to 1, Terence Crawford.
Max, you agree with Harold's score?
Yep.
So we go to the 4th, and still Crawford stays in the southpaw stance. Tonight, he dispensed with the conventional stance 44 seconds into the fight and has standing southpaw ever since. That takes the element of surprise away, but more and more, fight by fight, it appears that this is the way he's most effective anyway.
Oh, Hank's turned southpaw now.
So now they're both fighting in southpaw stances.
And here we, even though it's early, you start to get to a moment of truth. Lundy, through his, pluck and his timing and his competitiveness, made it a good fight for 3 rounds. We know Crawford starts slow. He analyzes his opponent, and then he starts to break them down.
Also, have given Crawford a chance to land something big.
Yeah, he may give Crawford a chance for the straight left hand or the overhand left, and it looks like Lundy is bleeding on the outside of his right eye.
Yep.
See that hook right there? Crawford lands.
Crawford's caliber, it gets to a point in the fight where they figure some things out, and all of a sudden the other guy's head starts to get flown this way and that way in 2 and 3 punch combinations. The sweat and blood starts to fly, and Crawford, I think, is starting to feel like it's entering that phase of the fight.
A good counter by Hank.
Hard left hand. Crawford showing you the beard, which he has shown us in several fights. He took some hellacious shots from your...
Crawford's killer instincts were on full display here, and he felt comfortable turning up the heat in round 5.
First round, Lundy got the jump on Crawford early. Harold Letterman gave him the round. Since then, Harold has scored every round so far for Crawford. 3 out of 4.
Deal with that jab, and hopefully it'll open up something else for Crawford.
Another left hand landed for Lundy. Crawford came back with a 1-2 of his own.
Yeah, both fighters just Lundy. Lundy has to be careful because Crawford's going to set him up right there.
Yep. Big left hand and another left hand. Momentarily wobbles Lundy. Yeah. Lundy trying to find his legs. Crawford looking for a way to land another shot. Left hand knocks Lundy into the ropes. Good body shot by Crawford.
Yeah, Lundy let Crawford get a little too close, and you saw that coming.
Down goes Hank Lundy on a Crawford left hand.
That's why fans love Steve Willis.
Hey, are you all right? Look at me. You all right? Come here.
He let Crawford get a little too close.
Hard left hand. Hard left hand again. Crawford
wailing away at Lundy in the corner, and Willison's going to stop it.
And like the Delorme fight for Crawford, the fight's going along, it's going along.
It was a scene of total dominance from Bud. He knew from the start that he would win, but that didn't make it any less sweet.
I'm gonna bring to him a big surprise. You will see.
Bud came out looking to make a big early statement in this one, and boy, did he succeed.
John looks like he wants to be explosive, although he waits in the first round. He likes to take his time to get started, and all because he's so smart in the ring. Testing his positioning where he has to be against John. John has decent hand speed as well. Height for Crawford and a little bit advantage in reach, but in spite of the fact that Thierry Jean is only 5'6.5", he's got a 71-inch reach, which is very long.
And you mentioned Terence Crawford being a quote-unquote slow starter, and that's many people do knock him for that, but you get the sense that he's just figuring out his opponent and seeing which way, he switches orthodox to southpaw, and it's on from there. But Thierry Jean will look to get off to a faster start because, as they said in the meetings, Colonel, they think he maybe can steal a couple of these early rounds because of how Terence starts.
Jabs through the first jab of the fight, but he hasn't landed anything. And as you pointed out, and it's very true, that Crawford is getting his positioning down. Very quick on his feet, so Terence might have a little problem catching up with him with a jab. Nice counter punch by Jean, one of the few punches that's landed in this round. And already 2 minutes gone in round number 1 of the fight. And not a lot of engagement here in round number 1, a lot of positioning. Not a lot between them in terms of scoring of this first round of the fight. That's what he's known as. Here's Crawford turning around and fighting from the southpaw stance, and he can do that. You've heard me criticize guys that do that, but this guy has the ability to do it, and he trains that way. Foot forward. But he's just testing, as Christina said he would, everything that he can do in this first round. Oh! He drops John.
If one thing was already crystal clear, it was that Crawford could hurt Jean quite effectively.
To start round 2. Jean gives him that left shoulder in. Crawford continues to jab with the right hand, meaning he's in the southpaw stance. But he surprised Jean in the very closing seconds of round number 1. And that was a very close first round, but Crawford certainly stole the round.
Maybe he wanted to silence all those people that have been calling him such a slow starter. That's a quick first round knockdown for him. And even though it was a close round, I mean, shoot, had he waited 5 more seconds, we would be sitting here maybe even giving the round to Jean.
Yeah, well, I could see some of the judges giving it to Jean. But that's Bud Crawford. Guys has extraordinary ability. And obviously very good power, 18 knockouts and 26 victories. John in the first round with it. John just not able to get any offense going against the southpaw stance of Terence Crawford. And you probably heard me criticize guys that are right-handed fighters that turn around and fight southpaw and their lack of ability to be accurate, that they get hit more, but not this guy. Southpaw stance, and then he's jabbing with his right hand. Looking to catch with his left hand. Jean carrying his left hand down. Right now, I think that Crawford, maybe ought to switch around and fight orthodox so he can bury that left hand over the shoulder and then drop his right hand. But he stays the way he's doing it because he's able to get the jab in. Pretty quick hands, but he can't outquick Crawford, who now comes with something a little bit different as he turns the thumb outside with his front hand and comes with an uppercut. He has to be frustrated by what happened at the end of the first round. There hasn't been a lot to separate him in this round, except that Crawford has landed more punches than John has been able to land. And here it is again. Had him off balance again.
But his opponent would not go down without giving a good account of himself first.
And this is round 3. The Colonel Bob Sheridan with Christina Punch. You're watching Top Rank Boxing here to the left of your screen now with his last name on the front of his trunks. Let's see if he's, well, now he's back fighting against the southpaw.
Plenty of southpaw and orthodox fighters, and Terence is like, I've beaten 2 of his sparring partners already, so he could just be a third. He had no in terms of sparring.
But Jean talked about his jab had to be effective, and he's not even jabbing. He's holding his hand out there like this, which lets the left hand of, especially in this southpaw positioning, Crawford just sort of feigning and fading with that hand, and then he goes for hard shots upstairs. But John, offensively, not able to do much at all with Terence. So, I mean, they talk about Crawford in his offense, but he's such a good defensive fighter as well. He just has all the tools for a fighter.
So, you know, Thierry Jean has a game plan until he gets hit in the mouth. As you mentioned, not much of that so far tonight.
Well, the other thing, if you're going to beat a guy in a southpaw stance, you've got to be able to throw the right hand down the middle. And so far, all he seems, this Crawford, you get the idea, he's just kind of toying with him. He's waving the right hand around, trying to get in position, blast him downstairs with the left hand.
Before that fight.
Well, he said he's totally physically and mentally prepared for this fight, and he well may be. But so far, I would say 80% ineffectiveness against Bud Crawford. He landed a right hand, and he's got to throw more of those. He's got the right idea and force Crawford to going back into his orthodox stance. Not that that's going to help him much, but at least he can take advantage of throwing the right hand down the middle. But it's Crawford who picks up the pace after he gets tough.
Bud knew he could pounce on Gene's openings at any moment, and you could feel the tension in the air.
At the end of the first round, and we moved to round number 4 here at the CenturyLink Center in Omaha, Nebraska. The southpaw stance, and he's been that way almost all the rest of the way. In fact, most all the rest of the way he's been southpaw. So he's decided to throw a curveball at Thierry Jean. Jean trying to land the right hand down the middle, but the hand speed of Crawford is significant and is causing him problems. Remember, there's not a lot of difference, even though there's a difference in height, there's not a lot of difference in reach. And hold his chin back, so when the guy tries to counterpunch him with the right hand down the middle, which is the way to beat a southpaw, I mean, he's thrown it, I would say, a half a dozen times, as Jean, but he's not landing it. Every time I watch him, Christina, I just think I just see him better and better. 2 solid shots landed. But Crawford is landing more solid shots than is Thierry. And there's a hard right hand again. Remember, that's the jabbing hand when he's in this southpaw stance. Crawford continues with the assault, and he rocketed him another shot and bounced him up against the ropes for that.
Man, that's so dangerous.
Yeah, and it's like a piston, Christina. Look at this. Bang! The head snaps back. Chops him again. Here's Crawford turning it up a notch. But the ability of Bud Crawford in the condition that he's in for this fight, people would try to get him to talk about a Pacquiao fight. Another very good round for the champion, Terence Crawford, as the bell ends round number 4. Here it comes.
This was a dominant showing from a fighter who looked like he had nothing to fear.
Our fight as a southpaw, and now, with the exception of the first round, he's been southpaw all the way. That's a trip, and Tony Weeks right on top of it. But he has no answer for it still. Because no matter how much you spar, you're not fighting a world champion when you're in a sparring session most of the time. Although he did have some rounds in Pacquiao. You get plenty of power, but most of his knockouts come as a result of accumulation of punches. Thierry back on his heels, trying to slide away and figure out what he can do with this guy. And the answer to it is, you got to really commit to the right hand. Yeah, that's all right. He got a bit of him that time and a bit of him that time. And that's what Thierry Jean has got to do if he's going to be real competitive in the scoring with Bud Crawford. Terence Crawford sets up in front of him, swinging the hand around. So relaxed for this fight.
Straight in, straight out every time with the right.
He's trying to get in position, but Crawford controls the position for seeing as you see. Right here in the corner. Tries to get out of the corner, and Terence turns up the pressure on him. Crawford just outshines him. Look at this series of punches. 3 jabs, a left hand shot on the inside. Crawford can take a shot. He doesn't take many, but he can take a shot when he gets hit. Hasn't had to take many in his career, and You know, at age 28 now, that's well, there are times that Gene looks like he wants to be real aggressive. It's the inability to.
After a minor resurgence in round 5, Gene was quickly running out of options.
This is his 5th championship fight in a row. Obviously, he's won them all.
Is that for Halloween? Because it's got the jack-o'-lantern on his trunk. And he said, yeah. I think his plan is to make it a very scary night for Thierry Jean. You know,
it's all right.
Make it a scary night.
We'll let you off the hook. So here in round number 6, the crowd in anticipation of Crawford turning it up a notch in the first round. And when he dropped Jean in the first round, he did that from the southpaw stance, and he came out in the second round has been southpaw the rest of the way. A whole fight right-handed or a whole fight left-handed. And so far, the southpaw style here against Thierry Jean is working. Jean just has an inability to land his jab, and as much as he tries to sling that right hand through, most of the time, very quick out. He pulls out at an angle. Sometimes he pulls straight back, but when he pulls straight back, he's coming back at you like he is right now. Uppercut on the inside is Crawford, and anytime Crawford does anything, it ignites the crowd. Here he is, loading up shots. Terence Crawford unleashes a barrage on Thierry Jean. To Thierry. Crawford stays as a southpaw. Thierry is into the fight now. He's obviously got a nice adrenaline flow going, but
he's caught him a couple times, and you can tell it hasn't phased Terence. And in fact, when he does that, Terence just goes back and tees right back off.
Yeah, every time that, like in this round, you know, Jean hit him with a couple of shots, and then Jean's got a big welt by his right eye, below his right eye.
You could really tell that Crawford wanted to get the finish here, and Gene simply didn't have a plan B to fall back on.
Fighter, very quick fighter, but just not effective against the class of Terence Crawford tonight. I don't know if he's trying to bring Crawford in so he can land the right hand or just what he's doing, but his jab totally ineffective. And fighting as a southpaw. Crawford just maneuvers him. Fighting southpaw has been very effective for a man from Omaha.
I mean, it's hard when Terence Crawford is so skilled and comes so fast, and when he got that.
He's so skilled, and that he is. And, you know, Gene has tried to attack him with the straight right hand on several occasions, plant that right hand down the middle, and now even Terence squares up, and he squares up, but he throws a hard left hand of his own down the middle, which is what the southpaw has to be able to do. Crawford takes a light right hand, but it's not enough to give Gene the round. Crawford back on his heels for just a second. And Terence kind of cruised through that round. Not a great round, but effective.
If Gene was going to fight his way back into this one, it was now or never.
Round 8. And really goes after him. He really doesn't have to. All he has to do is just continue like this. And it's a very nice win going this way for him. Remember, Jean is a guy with 29 victories and only 1 loss, and he's got 20 knockouts. That's how good Terence Crawford really is. He just can't seem to catch up with him with whatever he tries. And that has to do with the defensive abilities, the quickness of Crawford. He'll drive off that back foot. There's a hard jab again, which is, Christina pointed out, is a punch, and then he nails him with a straight left hand, which is the power shot when he's in the southpaw style. Rolls his shoulders right to left, back in front of him. He slung that left hand out there that time. Now he has a bit of a flow going to him now, like second gear right now, with 1 minute and 13 seconds to go in this round, like he wants to do something spectacular soon. Since the first round, Crawford hasn't been able to drop this guy.
Well, I'd like to maybe see in this next round, if we get to it, some more body work from Terence. He's done a lot of the jabbing to the head and a lot of work to the head. We talked about getting him down or out.
And John has got the left hand down. Oh, he caught Crawford with a solid right hand. Crawford shakes his head no, which is usually indicative, yeah, you did catch me. Now watch Crawford turn it up a notch. You hit me, you're going to pay, says Crawford. Oh, you caught again! For the second time, Crawford got clipped. He felt those 2 punches, and it really gets an adrenaline flow going. Tony Weeks thought it was the bell. He was about to stop the fight.
In round 9, Crawford's mean streak really came out.
Crawford actually did more damage to him by scoring the cut to the right eye of Thierry Jean. And Crawford probably did more damage in the round, but if there were a round that the judges, and remember...
Most accurate shots.
Yeah. But it only happened twice.
Twice, yeah, exactly.
Terence landed 10 or 12. A slit in the right eyelid of Thierry Jean. Crawford trying to put pressure, he stays in the southpaw stance. Jean holds that left hand out of the slinging shot. The right hand in the last round found a home twice off the right hand of maneuvers his foot to the outside to be in position to land the right hand. And there's the left hand straight down the middle. Bounces the right hand off the lower eye of Jean. Jean sets up in front of him. His Crawford coming in now. Right hand and left hand to the southpaw.
You just get the sense that the crowd's kind of on the edge of their seat, right? Like they're just waiting for
they're waiting for an explosion.
They're waiting for that.
Exactly. We're in the 9th round. Crawford cruising along here, outscoring Thierry Jean. Scoring at least, where Jean just hasn't been effective with his jab at all tonight, and it's affected his entire fight. But you may be right what you said. When he got clipped in that first round, changed the whole fight plan and idea for this guy. Oh, he gets dropped. Couple of shots. He's claiming he got hit by the back of the head. And he staggers a little bit at 9. He may well have got hit behind the head, but that's not Tony's call at that stage. You got to get up. Exactly what happened. He caught him behind the ear all right. And again,
that one was clean.
Yeah.
Maybe that one.
Yeah.
But he looked like he was already somewhat kind of bent down or going down.
Gene couldn't stand up to the heat, despite his pre-fight confidence. And now Bud was about to show him just how far behind he was.
Slingshots, he's a clean punches. Now Tony Weeks moves into position. If he sees a lot more clean punches, he's not going to let Bud Crawford totally beat this guy up. Crawford stays southpaw. His shots to the body, wanted body shots. There's some hard body shots, Christina. Jean realizes that he was stung at the end of that last round. The second punch might have been illegal, but we didn't have a real clean replay of it. But Crawford is landing some real good shots here now. Left hand, right hand, right hand. Here he is fighting as an orthodox fighter now, is Crawford, and he's going after him as a right-handed fighter. He switches back and forth, goes Crawford. That's the first time we've seen him go from left to right, and now he's back left-handed again.
Thierry Jean's trainer came up with the towel in his hand up to the top of the ring, and Thierry told him no, no. So keep a close look on if the blue corner of Thierry Jean may be looking to stop the fight.
Well, he really should stop the fight because he's not going to win the fight. He's getting pounded. But if, in fact, an official steps up on the apron, hard shot again, taken on the right side of the head of Thierry Jean. Wants to hang in there and just see if he can do anything to land the shot on Terence Crawford. Crawford, when he put that last assault on, was actually fighting as a orthodox fighter. And here he is. Oh, he drops him into the ropes, and that's it. Tony Weeks stops the fight. It's all over. Accumulation of...
This was undoubtedly one of the pound-for-pound kings of the sport, and it would not take long before the entire world knew his name. But just how far do you think Bud can go in the rest of his career? And who would you like to see him fight next?